All right, we're going to let this run a couple times through the swings. Basically what I'm doing is syncing you up, and I'm going to slow it down to 25%. Let's go 5%. And basically you guys are in unison at the same parts of your swing. And I want you to see your swing in comparison to his. Now you got to keep in mind, Vlad has some crazy stuff that he does with his hands that you can't do. Okay, but I want you to see the basic concepts. Vlad is very raw hitter, even to this day. He's not very refined as far as being very precise.
That right there.
Yeah, he does some things that normal people can't do. But here's what I'm going to show you: some basic stuffs, basic things that where he gets to that everybody's got to get to. All right, let's look at our stance. Okay, in this particular frame, everything's good there. I mean, our knees are inside our toes. Our toes pointing straight ahead, head's level, everything looks good. Negative movement. Now, negative movement, let's make a couple dots here. All right, let's start. Those are the center of our hands. Right, so this is circle. Okay, that's where our hands start. Okay, then we get to a negative movement. Now look where our hands are now. Okay. Now, in looking at that, you see how I'm always saying, why are you dropping your hands? Why are you dropping your hands? You're dropping your hands, and that we start in one place, then our next movement is down. Okay. Then when we get to toe touch, now let's look at Vlad's hands. Now, what you can't tell, because he starts really far forward. Now, don't look at the barrel. What I want you to do is look at his hands. Okay. Where are they at? Right by his back shoulder. Okay. Now, he started his hands at the top of his head, but did he go outside his shoulder or below his pec muscles? Below. No, they're still above. And you can see your hands. You start them high, which is fine. You bring them down, but now they're outside your shoulder and about the same high as your pec. The same height I'm not really so worried about, but how far they're outside your back shoulder is a little bit of an issue, because I think it's going to make us drag our hands. And that is what I wanted to see. Okay? Now, Vlad looks like he's really bar arming. Now, what you don't realize is how far his body is starting to slide forward. And somehow, some way, he still maintains a 111-degree angle. Is that fair? I don't want to cheat you. 141. Okay? The closer we are to 180 means we're straight arming or bar arming that front arm. Bad. We want to try to keep this thing as close as we can to 90 degrees. Okay? And I can show you others like Manny Ramirez and so on that you would be seeing close to 90 degrees. Now, it doesn't look like he's that angle, but he is. And you can see how yours is really, really stretched out. So and now our hands they started up. Now let's circle them the third time. Now, have you even started your swing yet?
No.
And now your hands have been in 3 different positions. Okay, so if somebody throws the ball hard, are you going to have a tough time with finding your hands? Absolutely, because they went start, down and back, then up and in. And we hadn't even started our swing yet. All we've done now is just get the heel plant.
And his has stayed in that circle the whole time?
No, his have started here, but the worst that they went was there. Okay? And then now, look where his body moves forward, but his hands stay in the same spot. Okay? His have gone all over. Once they got to that load position, they stay in the same spot, and his body moves forward. Okay? Then we get to heel plant, hands start to come forward. Okay? And now you should be starting to come forward, and now your hands are locked in that last spot. They've done so much movement, they're like, stay in the same spot. Now your body starts to slide forward, and that's why it's so hard for you to stay behind the baseball. Okay, now I'm starting to get hands start to catch up in this frame, and I get back hip, back elbow connection, back elbow, back hip connection, as you can see in this frame, and then we get to contact. Now, because you catch up late, all right, your elbow and hands catch up late is how you're able to get to this position, which is a great position. Let me show you why. Are you standing tall? Yes. Okay, shoulder, hip, elbow, knee. Okay, or head, shoulder, hip, knee. Standing tall, great. Now, as weird as his body looks at right there, if you look at shoulder, hip, elbow, knee, he's still standing tall. Now, his arms are all over the place, and that's why he's still raw. But if you break it down to the basic concept, he's still standing tall. He's behind the baseball, same way you are here. Okay? But, so the last 2 frames, you've seen how you've really been able to catch up with your hands, back up. And that's why you'll hit average pitching to below average pitching better. I don't want you to hit those guys. I want you to hit everybody good. And for us to be able to hit everybody good, we got to calm down our hands at the start of our swing, which we've saw.
Instead of dropping them, just go straight back.
Yep, just go straight back. Now, here's the last couple things that I want to see. Did a good job. Now, let's get to contact. Let's see the pitch. And now what I want to see is, let's take a ball line. I want to see how long you stay on that line. Okay? Okay. Now, good. See how long we're standing on there? So we get from bad lag, contact, and basically what I want to do is get on this ball line as early as I can, right around my back hip, and I want to stay through that line as long as I can. And as you guys saw in that video with the big zone, that's pretty good. Now, here's what I want you to notice. See how in this frame you got space between your arms? See how he has space between his arms? That's palm up, palm down. That means we're still palm up, palm down. But look at your hands, how they're starting to roll over. Does his hands look like they're starting to roll over? No. And then you can see how in the next frame, let's see, we're in F1, F2, how he's just now rolling over and how now that space between your arms are gone. And that's where your top hand, you're really top hand dominant to hit. You really want to get around it with your top hand and roll over. I want you to think about staying palm up, palm down. So what I want you to take away from this are 2 things. One,
He looked totally different though.
who, his?
Jake's.
Yeah.
He's got a much bigger angle in his back leg.
Yeah, and see, basically when he's finishing, he's kind of relaxing his feet, and that I honestly don't care about because his after ball came off the bat. The 2 things I want you to work on are, 1, calming down our hands, not have all these different hand positions before we start our swing, and I want you to really think about, again, which we talked about, staying palm up, palm down, and staying through the baseball, because you can start to see you start to roll over a little quick. And what I don't want you to start doing is coming off of balls that you can definitely hit. The other thing that I really like here is look where your chest is at contact. Chest is just ahead of the ball. Okay, and that's one we worked really hard to get on. That's not bad. In an ideal world, I'd want my chest a little more turned closer to the ball, kind of like you're seeing him here. Now the ball that he's hitting is right there. He's not quite to contact, but that's where his chest is and that's where the ball's at. Okay? Does that make sense? Very good.